and welcome to IT is Great. In this module, I'll discuss Grade 11 curriculum, hardware. We start with the motherboard. The motherboard provides connections for other circuits, the RAM, CPU. It ensures communications between components, provides power. Modular design. We have separate components. ZIF socket, DIMM, pronounced DIMM slots, SATA connectors, external connectors, the USB, VGA, expansion slots. What are some of the components of the motherboard? The CPU, the Central Processing Unit. We need to talk about the machine cycle. That's where it gets data and instructions from the RAM. Remember, from grade 10, RAM was random access memory. It decodes the instructions, executes the instructions, and sends the data back to memory. ROM, read-only memory. Firmware, software that is recorded on the read-only memory. BIOS. BIOS stands for Basic Input-Output System. This is when you are booting up the computer. It controls the hardware at the lowest level. It's options for the user to configure. It checks that the rest of the hardware is present and working. It does the post-test. It finds the OS, the operating system, and loads it. CMOS, complementary metal oxide semiconductor. ROM, firmware controls the basic working of the device. For example, the printer driver receives print instructions from the operating system and translates it to an instruction that the firmware can understand. The operating system on smartphones and tablets is stored in firmware. Upgrading of firmware. Devices can be made to function faster and get new functions. EEPROM is totally wiped and replaced with an updated version. This is called flushing. This process must not be interrupted. Typical devices that need ROM are your smartphones, your tablets, GPS devices, and video cards. RAM. DIMM. You get DDR2 RAM and there's DDR3 RAM. RAM is electronic, fast, volatile, means it needs electricity to keep its memory intact, comparatively expensive, and it's limited by the number of memory addresses that can be accessed, 32-bit or 64-bit, and also by the number of memory slots on the motherboard. Video or graphics cards. This has a GPU and RAM. Its task is to CPU. Its task is to create images and display it on the monitor. It lessens the burden on the Central Processing Unit. Laptops have built-in integrated video adapters and video cards. Data transmission. The role of the motherboard is to provide communication between components. So how does data transmission take place? The system clock controls timing of everything. Two main types of connections: communication between the devices and the systems. A data transfer, we talk of a system clock, gigahertz. A quartz crystal that vibrates at a constant frequency. All activities is coordinated against this. Bus. It's not the bus you're thinking about, it's the pathways along which the data travels. You have point-to-point connections, or you have a connection to a peripheral. Think of your USB port or your Firewire port. Plug and play, the device identifies itself, operating system search for a driver, and automatically loads it. Hot swappable. The ability to plug in or remove a device even when the power is on and the computer is working. For example, USB devices. Plug and play, technology that automates the configuration process of a device before it can be used. Caching. In different situations, a CPU has a special high-speed memory. A hard disk storage is part of the normal RAM, and we use it for communication or web caching. So the purpose of caching is to prevent a slow medium from slowing down the performance of a faster medium. Think of it as temporary memory. Storage, the characteristics of storage. We talk about non-volatile, permanent, the cost, the speed of storage devices, whether it's magnetic or optical. What's this thing called? EEPROM, IDE, SATA, your hard disk, your optical disks, your DVD-ROM, BluRay disc, your flash drives. Storage, there's an example of your flash drive. There's your hard disk drive. And the last slide, we talk about public domain pictures. Click on the website www.wclipart.com or search in Google for hard disk drive or flash drive, ROM, RAM, so you get a better understanding of hardware devices and memory. I hope you like it. Please click on the like button and remember to subscribe to my channel. Bye for now.